Welcome to the most amazing channel where we uncover the strangest truths hidden in plain sight. Today, we're diving into something eerie, bizarre, and downright prophetic. This isn't just a fun list, this is a wake-up call, the Simpsons predictions for 2025 that will haunt you. Over the years, what started as a simple cartoon has morphed into something far more mysterious. An accidental crystal ball that keeps predicting the future with chilling accuracy. From tech takeovers to world-shaking events, their so-called jokes have gone from laughable to alarming. And what's coming in 2025? Let's just say it's not all giggles and gags anymore. Some say it's coincidence. Others believe it's insider knowledge wrapped in yellow comedy. But one thing's clear, time and time again, The Simpsons have sketched out futures that slowly became our present. And this year, 2025, might be the most prophetic yet. So buckle up, turn the lights down, and silence your phone. Because what you're about to hear might make you question everything. These aren't your typical cartoon gags. These are 10 predictions from The Simpsons that are coming true, and fast, and trust us. By the end of this video, you'll never look at this show the same way again. Number 10. Virtual teachers and AI classrooms. In one future episode, Bart sits in class, zoned out, while a soulless robot teacher drones on. Funny at the time? Sure. But in 2025, it's reality. AI tutors, robot assistants, and fully virtual classrooms are replacing human teachers. The future of education? Efficient, but cold. Kids aren't just learning facts from machines, they're forming bonds with them. But can a machine replace empathy, inspiration, a teacher who actually cares? The Simpsons may have exaggerated, but they weren't wrong. And that laughter? It's starting to sound a little nervous. Number 9. The rise of non-politicians in politics. Remember that episode where a flashy, clueless TV host becomes president? Back then, it was a joke. Now, in 2025, influencers, TikTokers, and streamers are actually running for office. And winning. It's not about experience anymore, it's about followers. The Simpsons saw it coming, a world where reality TV and politics become one chaotic show. And the scariest part? We're not even surprised. Number 8. Lab-grown meat becomes the norm. In a quirky Simpsons episode set in the future, the family bites into what looks like meat, but something's off. It wobbles like jelly, squeaks when chewed, and Lisa recoils in disgust. Cruelty-free, the vendor proudly declares. The moment is played for laughs, but in 2025 it feels more like foreshadowing. Lab-grown meat, also known as cultivated meat, is no longer a science experiment. It's now hitting grocery shelves, restaurant menus, and even school cafeterias. This isn't your typical plant-based burger. We're talking real meat, grown from animal cells in bioreactors with no slaughterhouses involved. On paper, it's a win. No animals harmed, drastically lower carbon emissions, and the potential to feed a growing population without destroying the planet. But as The Simpsons hinted, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should rush in without questions. Early adopters report strange textures and unexpected aftertastes. Some even develop new food sensitivities. There's an eerie feeling that we're tampering with nature's recipe in a way we don't fully understand. In The Simpsons, the meat was comically unappetizing. In real life, the unease is more subtle and much more real. And then there's the psychological shift. What happens when food stops coming from nature and starts coming from a lab? When something as primal as eating becomes a sterile transaction between humans and machines? The Simpsons turned that discomfort into comedy. But in 2025, it feels like a quiet warning. Lab-grown meat might save animals and ecosystems, but it could cost us our connection to the natural world. As we chew on the future, we're left to wonder, are we solving hunger? Or just creating a new kind of hunger no lab can satisfy? Number 7. AI relationships and emotionless love. In one of the more surreal Simpsons episodes, Moe the bartender finds love, not with a person, but with a hologram. She's flawless, always attentive, never argues, programmed to meet his every emotional need. At the time, it felt like a clever jab at society's obsession with technology. But in 2025, that satire is uncomfortably real. AI-generated partners aren't science fiction anymore. They're apps you can download, voice assistants that flirt, chatbots that listen. Some even come with customizable personalities, physical avatars, and virtual intimacy. People are falling in love with code, forming emotional bonds with something that doesn't feel, doesn't grow, and doesn't truly exist. And for many, it's working. These digital companions are available 24/7. They don't judge. They don't betray. They say what you want, when you want. But The Simpsons offered a subtle warning. When love becomes programmable, it stops being love. It becomes a mirror, one that reflects only what you want to see. Real relationships are messy. They challenge us, surprise us, force us to grow. But in 2025, that messiness is being engineered out. Why risk heartbreak when you can upload happiness? Studies are already showing signs of trouble, rising emotional detachment, decreased empathy, a growing fear of real vulnerability. Like Moe's holographic girlfriend, these AI partners may be flawless, but they're not alive. The Simpsons showed Moe's girlfriend short-circuiting when he spilled beer on her server. It was a joke. But in our world, the glitch might be deeper, rewiring how we connect, how we trust, and how we love. In replacing real connection with artificial affection, we might be solving loneliness on the surface, while creating an emptiness we don't yet understand. Number 6. Climate mayhem is the new normal. In a wild future episode of The Simpsons, the weather turns absurd. Snowmen melt in seconds during a freak heat wave, only for the town to be buried in a sudden blizzard the next day. It was meant to be ridiculous. But now, in 2025, it feels eerily accurate. This year alone, we've seen record-shattering heat waves scorch major cities, followed by flash floods and out-of-season snowstorms. The term once-in-a-century event is being used monthly. And instead of being shocked, people are adapting, buying both sunscreen and snow boots in the same shopping trip. Chaos has become routine. The Simpsons joked that even weather apps gave up trying to predict what was next. Turns out they weren't far off. Climate scientists are now saying traditional forecasting models are breaking down. The Earth's systems are becoming so unstable, so interconnected, that long-term predictions are less reliable than ever. The scariest part isn't just the extreme events, it's the normalization. Like characters in the show, we shrug, carry on, and try to live our lives beneath orange skies and rising tides. Disasters are now background noise. The Simpsons laughed through this storm, but their message is hard to ignore. When the absurd becomes expected, it stops being funny. 2025 isn't just about hotter summers or colder winters. It's about a planet out of rhythm, a warning we've been laughing at for too long. And if the past is any indicator, nature's next punchline might not be so entertaining. Number 5. A hyper-surveillance society. In one especially chilling Simpsons episode, the family finds themselves in a futuristic city where privacy is just a memory. Cameras track their every move, from brushing teeth to sneezing too loudly. Microchips log behavior. Suspicious thoughts are monitored and penalized. It was a parody, exaggerated for laughs. But in 2025, it's starting to look a lot like reality. Today, we live in a world where your smart home knows when you wake up, your phone hears your conversations, and your smartwatch tracks your stress levels. Facial recognition software scans your face in airports, malls, and even schools. City streets are blanketed in security cameras, and all of this surveillance is wrapped in the language of convenience and safety. The most disturbing part? Most of us are okay with it. The Simpsons imagined a future where people didn't just accept surveillance, they stopped noticing it. That eerie indifference is exactly what we're seeing now. We've traded privacy for faster apps, curated ads, and AI-powered assistance. Every click, location ping, and voice command is being logged, analyzed, and sold, often without us reading the fine print. And the consequences go deeper than just creepy ads. It raises a chilling question. Are we still making free choices, or just following a script that algorithms have written for us? The Simpsons weren't just poking fun at Big Brother. They were warning us about becoming willing participants in our own monitoring. And in 2025, that warning feels uncomfortably close to home. Number 4. The collapse of traditional schooling. In one blink and you'll miss it gag from The Simpsons, the family walks past an old, crumbling school building that's been turned into a snack bar. Education was outsourced to tablets years ago, someone mutters casually. At the time, it seemed like a goofy jab at tech obsession. But now, in 2025, that joke feels like a prophecy. Physical schools are vanishing. Across the globe, education has shifted from classrooms to cloud servers. Students log in from home, guided by AI tutors and pre-programmed lessons. Personalized learning sounds great, until it replaces teachers, classmates, and the chaos that makes school human. For some kids, digital learning offers flexibility, but for many others, it's creating isolation, anxiety, and a loss of social development. The hallway chatter, the cafeteria drama, even the boredom of a real classroom, all of it taught us more than just textbook facts. The Simpsons warned us, wrapped in humor, that when school becomes a sterile interface, we risk losing the messy magic of real learning. It's not just about facts and grades. It's about growing up, making mistakes, and discovering who we are with others by our side. And in 2025, screens can't replace that. Number 3. The currency collapse. In a hilarious moment from The Simpsons, Grandpa Simpson holds up a dollar bill and says, "Back in my day, this could buy a car." The kids laugh, then use the bill to wipe their mouths. Funny? At the time, yes. But in 2025, it hits a little too close to home. Inflation is no longer just a scary headline, it's a lived reality. In some countries, the value of traditional currency has eroded so fast, Entire economies are turning to digital alternatives. Cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance, and even barter systems are gaining ground, while physical cash is becoming more symbolic than functional. What The Simpsons joked about, a world where money is fast, unstable, and barely trusted, is now our reality. Prices fluctuate wildly. A paycheck on Friday doesn't go as far on Monday. People are storing wealth in digital coins, rare collectibles, or even canned goods. It's not a doomsday theory, it's survival. The show's mockery of economic absurdity has become a grim mirror. And the scary part? Like in the episode, most people are just laughing it off, until the system they depend on collapses beneath them. Number 2, alien disclosure becomes normal. In a classic Simpsons moment, the family eats dinner calmly as a green alien floats past the window. No one flinches. Later, that same alien flips burgers at a neighborhood BBQ. It was a gag about how desensitized we are to the bizarre. But in 2025, that joke feels less like fantasy and more like reality. In recent years, governments from the US to Japan have declassified files, released videos, and confirmed encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs. Whistleblowers claim we've had contact for decades. Some even hint at recovered craft and biological evidence. The news is everywhere, and yet barely anyone reacts. The Simpsons predicted exactly this, not just alien presence, but our indifference to it. We're so bombarded by information, distractions, and social media that even confirmation of extraterrestrial life barely makes a ripple. It's not fear or awe, it's apathy. And that's the chilling part. We're facing one of the biggest revelations in human history, and we're treating it like background noise. Just like in Springfield, the aliens aren't invaders. They're just there, flipping burgers while the rest of us scroll past the headlines. So the real question isn't, are we alone? It's, do we even care anymore? Number 1, the internet goes dark. There's an old, almost forgotten episode of The Simpsons where the entire town panics as the internet collapses. Not just the Wi-Fi, everything. Homer frantically bangs on a satellite dish. Lisa hyperventilates. Bart stares at the sky and asks, "What's that burning ball up there?" It was hilarious because it seemed impossible. But in 2025, this joke is starting to feel dangerously plausible. Experts are warning of looming threats that could bring the digital world to its knees. Massive solar flares, like the ones predicted this year, could fry satellites and knock out global communications. Meanwhile, cyber attacks are becoming more sophisticated, targeting infrastructure, banks, even national defenses. Add in rising geopolitical tensions, and the internet, our modern lifeline, suddenly looks fragile. Imagine waking up and there's no Google, no navigation, no banking apps, no social media. Our lives, so deeply tethered to screens and servers, would unravel in hours. Commerce would freeze. Emergency systems would stall. Panic would spread fast. In the Simpsons episode, After the Chaos, people rediscover face-to-face conversations, board games, and the joy of being unplugged. It ends with peace, but only after days of madness. Maybe that's the warning. We've built a world dependent on something invisible, unstable, and increasingly under threat. And if the internet goes dark, will we adapt or collapse? The Simpsons may have played it for laughs, but the punchline might just become our reality. So, were these just clever jokes or chilling glimpses into our future? Whether it's AI love, internet collapse, or politics turned performance, The Simpsons may be more than just a cartoon. They might be our accidental prophets. If they've been right this many times, what else have they seen coming? Stay curious, stay alert, and maybe, just maybe, don't laugh off the next prediction. The future might already be animated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell before the internet goes dark.